The final night, Daniel rushed home and told Emily everything. She wanted to leave immediately, but before they could pack their bags, the house turned against them. At exactly 3:12 a.m., the power went out. The house was plunged into darkness, and then the door to the hidden room swung open on its own. A wave of freezing air swept through the hallway. The whispers were deafening now, overlapping voices hissing, pleading, laughing. The footprints in the dust were moving, shifting as if unseen feet were stepping forward. Then they saw it. A figure stood in the room, tall, shadowy, grinning. It had no eyes, just empty sockets. Its mouth stretched impossibly wide, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. And then it moved. Daniel slammed the door shut. He grabbed Emily's hand, and they ran. They didn't stop. They didn't look back. They never returned. The house waits. The house was abandoned after that. No one dared to buy it. No one even wanted to step foot inside. But every night, at 3:12 a.m., if you stand outside that house, you'll hear it. Knock, knock, knock. And if you listen closely, you might just hear the whispers, still waiting, still calling, for someone to open the door. The whispering the next night, Daniel and Emily slept with their bedroom door locked. But that didn't stop the noises. At exactly 3:12 a.m., the knocking returned, louder this time. It was followed by a sound that made Emily's skin crawl. A whisper. It was faint, almost like someone was standing just outside their door, speaking in hushed tones. They couldn't make out the words, but it was there. A voice that didn't belong to either of them. Daniel held his breath, his hands clenched into fists. He wanted to believe it was the wind, or the old house settling, but deep down he knew better. The locked door. By the fourth night, things had escalated. The whispers turned into low, guttural laughter. Shadows moved in places they shouldn't. And then, the door to the hidden room, the one Daniel had left open, was suddenly locked. No matter how much he turned the knob, it wouldn't budge. He even tried forcing it open with a crowbar, but it was as if something on the other side refused to let go. That night, they both barely slept. The history of the house. The next morning, Daniel decided to do some research. He drove to the local library and asked the librarian about the house's history. At first, the woman hesitated, but then she sighed, pulling out an old newspaper article. "This house has a dark past," she said. Daniel's hands trembled as he read the headline. "Man vanishes after being locked inside hidden room, 1932. The article told the story of a man named Samuel Grayson, who had once lived in the house. According to the report, Samuel had been obsessed with the room, claiming he could hear voices coming from inside. One night, he told his wife he was going inside to talk to the whispers. She locked the door behind him. He was never seen again. When they finally broke the door down days later, the room was empty. The only thing they found was the chair and a single, chilling message scratched into the wood. "Let me out." The knocking at 3:12 a.m. Emily woke up with a gasp. She sat up, heart pounding, and nudged Daniel awake. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. At first, he thought she was imagining things, but then knock, knock, knock. It came from the hallway. Slow, deliberate knocks. 3 in a row. Pause. Then 3 more. Daniel got out of bed and grabbed a flashlight. He hesitated for a moment before stepping into the hallway. The sound grew louder, echoing through the walls. It was coming from inside the hidden room. As he approached the door, the knocking stopped. His hand hovered over the doorknob. He swallowed hard, took a deep breath, and swung the door open. Empty. The chair was still there. The room was silent. Emily was standing behind him, her voice trembling. "Daniel, look at the floor." In the thick layer of dust covering the wooden planks, footprints had appeared. Fresh footprints, leading from the chair to the door.